Well, hello and welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on Mother's Day, May 12th, 2024. Um, I hope you guys had a good Mother's Day. I know that at least there's one mother in the world that is grieving right now. Um, Very recently, there's a news came out of China. Some of you, if you pay attention to Chinese social media, you might have even heard about this. It's a tragedy of a young guy by the name of, well, his username was Fat Cat on social media. And it is because of the tragedy of Fat Cat. So I'm going to do this episode today because it is something that kind of sad and also make me feel kind of WTF at the same time. So, in case you have not heard of Fat Cat and what happened to him, the most of the audience here in North America probably have not. I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened. That's a true story, just recently happened. Um, so this 21-year-old guy, uh, going by the online handle of Fat Cat, he has been trying to court or date this girl, this lady, well, not a girl because she's actually 27 years old, 6 years older than him, and she lived in a completely different city in China. Uh, And Fat Cat had fallen madly in love with her, and they sort of have this online thing going. It's not really a relationship. Maybe well, to Fat Cat it was a relationship. To her, we don't know. Long story short, this year Fat Cat has moved to the city that this lady works in. She owns her own little store selling uh, assorted goods and clothes and stuff like that. So she's a shop owner. And in the past few years, Fat Cat, being a professional gamer, has worked very hard and spent very little on himself, living pretty much on water and instant noodle every day for the past 2 or 3 years. And he managed to save up an impressive amount of money being a professional gamer. Fat Cat has saved up over $500,000 Chinese yuan, which converting to US dollar, that's about $69,000 US. Even in the US, that's a pretty respectable amount of money for one person to save up in 2 or 3 years. Fat Cat have done this because he want to be able to spend this money on this lady love of his. So in the past 2 or 3 years, he uh, very often would send her gifts and money. And when he finally moved to the city that she's in, he uh, gave her a lot of money to pay off the debt she owed on her credit card and on her store, so she could actually pay off the mortgage and all that stuff. Uh, Sadly for Fat Cat, she was very cold toward him. She took his money whenever he handed over, and she plotted to have him sign to be the co-owner of the shop. So if anything go wrong, the creditor would go after him. But she uh, wasn't really that smitten with him. Uh, in the 2 or 3 years of their relationship or this online relationship, or even though they called each other boyfriend and girlfriend and say all the mushy stuff online, as far as actually being together, they've only met a handful of times, maybe two or three times, and ate lunch, it's quite likely the poor fat cat never even touched her hand or get a kiss or anything. But we don't know that, so we are just speculating. And the fact is that in 2 or 3 years, spending 60 odd $1,000 on this woman, he's only met her in person two or three times and had lunch with her. They never even stayed together overnight or anything. Finally, this year, Fat Cat moved to the city this woman is in, and thinking that now that he's closer to her, they can see each other every day and actually build a future together. But gradually, Fat Cat came to realize that she has been stringing him along all this time, that the love, the feeling is just one-sided, the dedication is just one-sided. She basically just treated him like a money tree, a spare tire, someone who could fix all her problem for her. So in the end, Fat Cat uh, donated the last $6,000 US he had under his name to her at her store. After doing that, he committed suicide and killed himself. Um, it's heartbreaking. This is a heartbreaking situation, and I will sort of like give you guys a kind of a personal uh, glimpse into why this is so heartbreaking for me because I once was there. When I was in high school, I fell in love with a lady in Ohio. We did the same thing, online chat, and I didn't mind that she was like 14 years older than me, and she was so nice to me when we were chatting on the internet, and I actually sold uh, my action figure collection. I sold off almost everything I had because my plan was as soon as I graduated, I would move to Ohio to be with her. It was lucky for me that I found out the truth about how she didn't really care and how she was sleeping around with other people before I actually moved. So I was a little bit luckier than poor fat cat. But yeah, I totally understand and still remember the devastation that you would feel when all this time you have been planning on having a future with this person, this love of your life, and then only to find out they have been playing you like a fool all along. So some people may say, well, that's okay, that's crazy. Like, what is Fat Cat this dumb? Like, how is it that 2 or 3 years he sent her like $60,000 US, and he doesn't realize that he's being tricked somewhere along the line? How is it that he didn't stop before it got to the bitter end? And how come it have to get to the point that he killed himself? Um, I can point out two distinct possibilities why this tragedy and tragedies like this happen, because this is not the first time. Back in 1997, there was another uh, computer engineer in China that threw himself off the roof of a building and killed himself after finding out that the woman that he was with didn't really love him. Um, the first possibility, the first reason why some people fall so hard uh, for a woman or for a man, because it's not just a man thing. It's a woman. Some women fall for this kind of stuff too. A lot of time these happen to people who are very introverted. This happen to people who their whole world is their computer. Their whole world is their house. They don't go out. They don't socialize. The only kind of socializing they do is online through games, through Facebook. These people, they have a very very empty love life. The the emotional meter is very, very low, which means when they finally lock onto someone, when they finally trust someone enough to say, this is it, this is the person, they generally go in very, very hard. Because imagine your whole life, like imagine your every day you get up in the morning and there's nothing for you. You all you have is your games and your computer and your instant noodle and whatever. Even when you make money, you don't know what to do with those money because you don't go out. You don't really do anything. You just want to stay home. And your life had no meaning whatsoever. There's no drive, there's no motivation, there's no excitement. And suddenly you fall in love, whether this love is real or not. It's like a thirsty man in the desert finding that water, even if that water is just a mirage, it still gives you that heart pumping excitement, give you a reason to get up, give you a reason to work hard, give you a reason to live. So this is why people like Fat Cat fall so hard for this kind of relationship scam. You can call them scam, you can call them trickery or whatever. It's why they fall really hard for this because it fill a void, fill a vacuum in their life that was previously missing. And because they have not experienced something like this very often, they don't know how to properly process that or handle that in their head. All they know is this is it. I finally found the love of my life, and this is what going to happen. There's no if, but, and, or maybe. This is just it. It has to be. The second most likely reason that cause people to lose their head and not able to get out early and realize their mistake early is what commonly being called the sunk cost fallacy. We talked about this in the past episode before. What is the sunk cost fallacy? It's when you get that tunnel vision, all you think about is how much you have already invested in this relationship, in this project, in this company, and you're unable to see that by staying, you are just going to get worse and worse. This sunk cost fallacy is often being employed by pyramid scams and uh, scammers and financial scams and stuff like that, where they get you to invest a little bit of money and then they tell you, well, something didn't go as planned, so now unfortunately you'll have to invest more to keep your account alive. You have to keep your membership, and otherwise, if you quit now, you lose everything you put in so far. And a lot of people they end up feeding this sunk cost fallacy, the situation where they feel, oh, well, I already put in $10,000, then, you know, all they're saying that I just need to put in another 5,000 and things will look better. If I quit now, I lose my 10,000. Well, you already lost your 10,000. You put in another 5,000, you end up losing 15,000. You know, so uh, this is a very classic example uh, uh, of a sunk cost fallacy, which uh, it's very simple. You go to the movie and you buy a ticket to see a movie. You sit down, and 10 minutes in, you realize this is a shit movie. This is a crap movie. What do? Okay, a lot of people will say, "Well, shit, I already bought the ticket. I might as well watch the whole movie. Otherwise, I waste my $10, $20." But some people will say, "Hell, I'm not going to waste the rest of my time watching this crap." Then they'll just stand up and walk away. They don't care about the $10, $20 they already spent. Okay, this is a very basic level of think the sunk cost fallacy at work, right? Some people they think, well, I already spent the money, I should watch the whole movie. But you're not going to get that money back. You already spent the money. Now you're going to waste 2 hours watching a shit movie because you spent that money. I can give you guys a real. I'll give you two real example. Number one, a couple of years, well, a handful of years ago, I was out with a friend, and we had to go to downtown Vancouver to conduct some business. And when you go to downtown Vancouver, you have to pay for parking, and the lowest you can go for is 1 hour. It's like $7 an hour. So our business only took 5 minutes. We went in, got our business done, we came out, and then I got in the car, my friend got in the car, and then he just turned the car on so the air condition would work, and then he didn't move the car. He would just sit there. And then 2 minutes later, I asked him, "What's up? Like, why are we just sitting here?" And he said, "Shit, we paid for 1 hour, so I might as well sit here for 1 hour." I face palmed myself when he did that. I was like, "What? I'm going to waste 1 hour of time because you feel that otherwise we waste $7?" Like, yeah, sunk cost policy right there. Right? But even myself, I was not immune to it. Some of you that been watching this for a long time, you know that I came out of a 18-year relationship. My previous girlfriend and we were together for 18 years. The relationship was not very happy in the last 10 years or so. And I knew this relationship was not working. I knew it wasn't working for me. It probably wasn't working for her. But I kept with it. I kept putting more and more effort into it because I somehow in the back of my mind I felt, well, we already been together for 10 years. If you just quit now because you're unhappy, isn't that kind of irresponsible? Like, aren't you, haven't you just wasted 10 years? So because I thought that way, I ended up wasting 18 years, right? So don't let yourself fall into that trap of the sunk cost fallacy. When you feel there's something wrong, and you know there's something wrong, never mind what you already put in. It's gone. You already put it in. You put into it. Think of it as you put into the money, the time, the resources to buy this life lesson. Okay, pat yourself on the back and walk away. Don't stick around. Don't try to push through and put more into it because you'll end up just losing more. Our poor fat cat. So some people would ask us the question, well, but when I'm with someone, especially this kind of online relationship, like fat cat and this lady, it's so hard to tell if they really love me. It's hard to tell if the person's scamming me or am I just being paranoid. How do I know? How do I know if the person loves me? Other than going out there get a daisy and do the he loved me, he doesn't love me, he loved me, he doesn't love me, counting the petals on the flower. Today, Johnny Tiger going to give you four simple points to follow, four simple signs that you can look for. If you see these signs, the red flags goes up, and you know that maybe there's a big chance that you are being taken for a ride. Okay. Now, before we go into that, let me clarify by saying everybody's situation is different, right? So you got to, when you apply these, you got to be reasonable and logical. I don't want you guys to, after today's episode, starting to doubt your partner and get all paranoid and lead to fights and unhappiness. No, that's not what I'm looking for here. I'm giving you these points for you guys to avoid some pitfalls in looking for a relationship. I'm not trying to create unrest in your existing relationship. These are more as a guidepost, signs to look for, right? And you have to apply them logically and smartly to your own situation. Uh, also, depending on how long your relationship have been going on, some of these may apply, but because your relationship is long, you've been married for 40 years, okay? Let's say you've been married for 30 or 40 years, then these things have to be taken into context, okay? Because there's a difference between the passionate love and companion love. A lot of time people think that, well, because you would give me flowers when we were first together, you do this for me, you do that for me, you skip work so we can make love at home all day. So you should still be doing that 20 years later. No, okay, after you've been together for a while, it's time to pull your head out of the sand and look at, okay, what do I need to work to make sure I earn a living? Do I need to make sure that I pay my credit card first before buying you more flowers? Okay, reality have to reassert itself sometime in the relationship. This is when that passionate relationship will gradually shift over to companionship. You will still, hopefully, still find passion occasionally here and there, maybe every week, maybe every month, but that will no longer be the primary concern. Once you start living together, once you start building a life together, then survival and living become the primary concern. So please take that into consideration. So, the first sign to look for is uncertain relationship. Uncertain relationship. What I mean by that is you've been together for a while, and while you treat them like they are your everything, you treat them like they're your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend. If I ask you what do they think of you, you might go, I don't know. I think they love me. Then we have some problem here. Right? Either you have comprehension issue that you're missing all the cue they're sending your way, or that they are leading you on. Okay? Love is very impulsive. Passionate love is very impulsive. So usually, if that person loves you, especially if they love you a lot, you'll know. Okay, if you're honest with yourself, you will know, right? Guys may not always say "I love you." Guys may not always say that you are my everything. I cannot live without you. Yada yada yada. But most guys, when they're in love, you'll know it. They'll bring you coffee, they'll bring you food, they'll buy you gifts. Even when they don't see you, they'll leave little notes under your doorstep. They'll send you emails and do a lot. You can see it through their actions. Okay, so uh, just because they don't say it doesn't mean it's not certain. A lot of time it is that it might not be what you want out of a relationship. You want them to say all the sweet nothing, but guys sometimes don't want to say that. But what I'm talking about with regarding to uncertain relationship is, let's say let's say I start dating somebody, and then 2 months later I ask her, so are we a couple? And if this person give me the kind of answer like, "Well, I had some really traumatic experience, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for a relationship. Can you like give me some time?" That's very obvious right there, right? This person is leading me on, but yes, they may have traumatic experience and stuff like that, but you either do or you don't. You don't keep taking my flower. If you are not ready for a relationship, you need to let me know rather than getting me to like keep have letting me pay for lunch, pay for dinner, and we have sex, and then we go out, and I have to pay for everything, and I buy gift, and then you tell me you're not ready, and tell me I should wait for you and give you some time. Statistically speaking, passionate love never take time. That's not how passion and lust work. Most couple kind of relationship happen because there's passion, there's lust, there's infatuation, and these things happen right off the bat. Okay, these things happen right in the beginning when you can't get the person out of your mind. The sound of their voice, the shapes of their body, whatever they say, you can't get them out of your mind. It, it's burn fierce and hot like a flame. It doesn't happen just because you say, "Oh, I'm not ready now. Give me another 2 years." No, it doesn't happen that way. Okay? Couple relationship never work that way. The only time when it works that way is when you or the other person used the other half as the last resort. Okay? That's the only time when it happens. Let's let's say a girl come to me and say, "Johnny Tiger, I really like you. Can we be together?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Can you give me some time? Like I think I just need to get to know you, and then I can maybe fall in love with you." What kind of crap is that? That is not me being sincere. What the unspoken words here would be, "Well, I don't really like you, but if I can't find anything better, then maybe." Okay, so wait around for a little bit, and we'll see. That's the unspoken line. So real love, real passion don't happen because you wait. It never need to wait. Okay? So if you've been with this person for a while and this person is unwilling to commit, unwilling to say out loud and act like you are their other half, then I'm sorry, most likely they are just using you as last resort. You are a spare tire. You are just a placeholder. You're something that uh, will be kicked aside as soon as someone better come along. Number two, this person breaks their promise to you all the time. Now, once in a while, things happen and things are unavoidable, right? Like I may promise Kitten that we are going to go to a movie on Saturday, but then I actually have to work. Last minute they tell me we have to work or there's a meeting. I might have to say, "Hey, I'm sorry, dear, but we can't go to the movie." If this happens once every so often, once in a blue moon, it's excusable, especially in a marriage, right? Because a marriage or a long-term relationship, you're together for a long time. You can't expect a person to uh, not run into difficulties their whole life. You might be together for 20 years, 40 years. That person is going to double book sometime. Okay, that's unavoidable. But here's the thing: at the beginning stage of your relationship, this person should be madly in love with you. Like I said, that passion is burning hot and strong. At this point, you should be their priority. They should be your priority, right? Let me give you guys an example. Like Kitten and I, we've been together for like 6 years. Even to this point, um, I make sure that if I if my work day fall on Valentine's Day or anniversary or kitten's birthday or anything that kind of important day, I don't care what kind of work. I will take that day off. I will say, "I'm sorry, or fire me if you want. I am not working." Because she is my priority. This is not me trying to be all mushy and romantic. I'm just saying this is how it's supposed to be if you are serious about the other person. So, if even in the beginning of your relationship, this person is telling you, "Hey, we're going to get together and have a good time on Saturday," and on Saturday they stand you up. And then Sunday they're apologizing. "Oh, something happened yesterday. I had a cousin who wanted to go to a baseball game, or I have a cousin who wanted me to go babysit their dog, yada yada yada." Okay, if even in the beginning of your relationship this kind of thing is happening, then I'm sorry, it's never going to get better. This person, even when the passion's supposed to be hot and bright, is treating you like you are not the priority, then you don't even stand a chance, honestly, in this relationship. You're not going to be taken seriously. So if the person break their word to you very easily, especially in the beginning of a relationship, then this is a definite red flag. The third danger sign is if the person only think about you when they need something. Okay? For example, she only calls you when she needs you to fix her computer. Okay? My ex-girlfriend did that to me. Right? Um, she only calls you when she's bored, or he only calls you when he's bored, or he only calls you when he's horny. Right? This kind of situation that you are not their other half. You are not in a relationship. You are just being used as their problem solver. You are free tech support. You are free chat line. You are free sex toy. Okay? You are just being used for until they find someone who can provide more than you can. And then you go bye bye. Okay? Obviously, we all need something in relationship to be honest, right? We all need something. We all want to be needed. The feeling of being needed by the other person is great. A lot of guys fall for this. A lot of guys have this hero complex, and when the girls, when the lady call them and want their computer fixed, and then when they fix their computer, they maybe let them get it on with them, or reward them with a pat on the head, or a nice meal, and say some nice things. Oh, I don't know what to do without you. You're so wonderful. Guys, don't fall for that. Okay, it's quite likely she's saying that to everybody who help her, right? So if she's only calling you, or for lady, if he's only calling you when they need something, they never call you to ask how you are doing without having to add something. Oh, by the way, can you help me with blah blah blah? Then you need to look out. Okay, that's red flag number three. When they are using you just as a problem solver, as a tech support, or something similar. Number four, the last danger sign to look out for is when they stonewall you from their circle. For example, if I am together with uh, Kitten, let's say Kitten and I we just met, and then I want her to meet my family. I want to introduce her to my friend, and yet I suddenly noticed that she doesn't talk about me on social media. She always avoid mentioning me. I have never met any of her friends. I've never met her family. Red flag right there. Danger sign. Okay, big warning sign. Watch out for that one, right? Because if a person truly, truly loves you, they want the whole world to know about it. They want to show you off to their friends because you are the best thing in their life. They want to show you off to their parents. They want to show you off to everybody. They want to talk about you to everybody, right? So if this person is avoiding mentioning you, then there's some problem there. Uh, and most likely it's because they don't want to complicate their life. They just want to use you as a placeholder, which means they are going to replace you any day. So if they start introducing you to their friends and their parents and all that stuff, it's going to make things really complicated when they bring in girl number two, right? So this is a great big red flag. Okay, if the person is stonewalling you, you don't know their friend, you don't know their family, and they know your friend, they know your family, then you might want to take a closer look at your relationship. Now, like I said, it depends on your situation. Everyone's situation is a bit different. Uh, like for example, in my case, I don't talk to most of my family members, and most of my family members are over there in Taiwan. So obviously, it's very difficult for me to get Kitten to meet my family. However, I do not hide the fact that I am in a relationship on social media. I will talk about things that happen between us, or I will joke about things on social media, and I have almost all my friends, never mind almost, I think all my friends have met Kitten, and we have hung out together and go out for meals, and I have met uh, almost I have met a lot of Kitten's family members the first year of our relationship. So neither of us hide each other from our circle. And this is how relationships have to look like. If you are in a relationship and you find that the other person is hiding you from their friends, hiding you from their family, almost like they're ashamed of you, then watch out. That means they don't take you very seriously. Now, when you look at your relationship, when you take a close look at your relationship, and you see maybe just one of these red flags, one of these, the ones that we mentioned above, then that should set off some warning bell. You should start paying attention. Okay, really look at what's going on. But if there's two or three of the conditions being met. If three out of the four, two out of the four things I mentioned is present in your relationship, then I can pretty much guarantee you that 99.9% uh, you are being taken for a ride, you're being used, right? So one is okay, maybe, but two or three, it's time to move on. It's time to just say, okay, you know what? This is not cool. It's time to move on. So to quickly recap, the four warning signs you want to look for is if they're stonewalling you from their circle, if they only call you when they need something, if they break their promises to you very casually and very easily, and if they avoid commitment, if they refuse to commit. Okay, these four are a simple four-step combo for you to determine if you are being taken on a relationship love affair scam. Thank you for checking out today's episode. I hope everybody's relationship is true, genuine, and happy.